I think that if you feel good about the place, is there a place that you've seen?
Yes.
Okay, if you feel, you just have to close your eyes and kind of visualize, with all this water, it's probably good to visualize water, like oceans or rivers or streams, but just close your eyes and think of water, and then try to interject that house, a picture of the house, and see how you feel about it, because your instincts are going to be very good, very right on. And if it's something that you really feel is good for you and right for you, I think it will happen.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Bye.
As I have been transported to Cape Cod, North Beach, looking at this house, or St. John overlooking Coral Bay, I'm all set. Mary Michele is taking your calls at 241-1310. To Mary and to Wendy, we will get to you momentarily, 1 minute away.
Well, I've dabbled in watercolors, modern dance, and acting. But what I really want to do is direct.
A little photography, some drama, tennis lessons. I guess you could call me a real Renaissance kid.
There's a day camp in Westchester County that lets your creative child really do it all. The Northern Westchester Center for the Arts. Now, in our 15th year, our multi-arts camp lets kids exercise their imaginations. Theater, music, dance, arts and crafts, even tennis and swimming. The Northern Westchester Center for the Arts lets children ages 7 to 16 explore their creativity in a nurturing, non-competitive environment. And we're at a spectacular new location in Briarcliff Manor on the campus of Pace University.
I began with finger painting, crayons on the wall. I've since moved on to mixed media.
Does your kid make up stories, draw on walls, dance around barefoot? Have we got a camp for you? The Northern Westchester Center for the Arts, now at the Briarcliff Manor campus, Pace University. Call Pepper Crowfoot at 914-241-6922. That's 914-241-6922.
All right, let's get back to Mary Michele taking your calls on astrology. Good morning, Mary. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Mary's date of birth is July 2nd, 1946. We're almost the same age, but of course you're still younger.
Okay.
Mary Michele is here, ready to answer your question. Everybody's younger than I am.
Oh, stop, Mike.
You are.
Did you have a particular question?
Yeah, I have a career opportunity to change my career, and I would like to know if this is the right time to do it. And I also have a business venture that I'd like to go into. I want to know if it would be profitable at this time.
You have a business venture?
Mm-hmm. To make money.
But it's different than the job
right.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm. I have two different questions. One is a career change.
Okay.
And the other one, I want to know if this is a good time to do it, the career change. And the other one is a part-time business, if it's a good time to go into this, in addition to my other job.
The sun in Cancer, the moon in Virgo, it's about details. You know, with the moon in Virgo, you're very, very good with details, but they might make you anxious.
Okay.
It's a harmonious angle, and your mother was probably somebody that you saw as being quite pure. Mm-hmm. Mercury in Leo, Venus in Leo. With the planet Saturn going through the sign of Aries right now, with this Mercury, Venus, and Leo, you're a good salesperson. You know, there's a side of you that is good at, you like people. You're good at getting out. The Sun in Cancer, of course, there's a side of you that wants to stay home. But with the Mercury and Venus and Leo, it's about being able to create new opportunities right now, as long as the structure is very, very strong. You have to, structure might not be something that's easy for you.
Okay.
Is the new job, is it more structured than the old?
It's more time consuming.
Uh-huh.
Same position, but more time. More time instead of part-time.
Okay, well, I think as long as you structure it and realize what your limitations are, in other words, you don't want to get into a position in the new job where they're going to make you work overtime, right? Mm-hmm. And there is that tendency. You have the tendency to allow that to happen.
Yeah, you're right.
So you want to make sure that it's very, very structured.
Okay.
And the same goes for the other opportunity as well. I think that you can do it, but don't overextend yourself.
Right.
Because you've got some, the moon in Virgo, you are a little nervous, and you're apt to take it into your stomach and not feel so good.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you
a big
for
help.
calling.
Great.
Okay, thank you for calling. Wendy is on line 4, date of birth September 25th, 1959. Wendy, good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, Mary Michele.
Good morning.
Recently I started a new job, and I just want to see what's in the stars, I guess, for it. Also, I'm in a relationship that's 2 years old, and I want to see if that's going to go anywhere.
Okay. The sun in Libra, let's see,
9/25/59.
Okay. The sun in Libra, the moon in Cancer. Okay, this is a hard angle. It is hard for you to work with the conscious and the unconscious. Sometimes your needs, the moon in Cancer, it's in its own place, and you are quite a good mother. Are you a mother?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, your understanding of mothering is good, and your understanding of your own mother, although there are times when you would rather that she be, or that you should be, you want to live up to that idea of the sun sign, the sun sign of Libra, which is about trying to seek balance. And it's not as much about, it's about relationships, but it's about the more intellectual side of relationships, the more higher thinking side of relationships. With the sun and Mercury in Libra, Mars in Libra, the node in Libra, the next 2 years are about you having to struggle a bit with your relationships. With Saturn and Aries, you are perhaps being forced to be more centered on yourself. You see, the nature of Libra in general is that they will give their power away, particularly to, male-oriented things, whether it's a job that's very male-oriented or a husband, or you have to get in touch with being who you are over the next 2 years, and you're going to be tested on this quite a bit. Is that helpful?
A little.
I think that you should continue working on your relationship is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Okay. And, if you want to ask more, could you call back next Monday? Because there are other people on the line, and I have to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
To be precise, there are 4 other people waiting on the line. We're going to get to Robert, Danielle, Diane, and to Irene right after this word. A new hairstyle instantly makes you feel more confident, attractive, and self-assured. Achieve it all at Le Collage Hair Salon in Mount Kisco, where owners and artists Michael Dominici and Joseph Sipos focus on the art of hair. At Le Collage Hair Salon, let a progressive stylist using the latest knowledge and newest techniques create a look that is individual to you. Call Le Collage Hair Salon. Set up a consultation or an appointment with a highly educated stylist for a new haircut, natural lighting, highlighting, or a permanent wave. Walk into Le Collage Hair Salon and feel the comfortable, relaxed atmosphere and enjoy the true art of hair design. Le Collage Hair Design is located at 200 East Main Street in Mount Kisco, 241-0084. Let owners Joseph and Michael or specialized Le Collage stylist create a look that's individual to you. Le Collage Hair Salon, 241-0084. Le Collage Hair Salon, where your hair is their only business. All right, let's get back to the phones with Mary Michele. Robert is calling from Yorktown Heights, watching on cable channel 12. Date of birth, September 3rd, 49. You're on with Mary Michele.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Mary. Mary, I asked originally a question pertaining to my state of employment. I'm very happy. I've been on my job over 17 years. I have another opportunity that presented itself. A little additional money, tons of extra work. That's a question I had originally posed. But I guess my primary concern are my kids. How do their futures look? I have a son that's 19, is in college, and I have a daughter that's 12, and she's doing great. They're both doing very well, but I'm still very, very concerned as far as their futures are concerned. I hope, and I pray everything's going to go smoothly, but now that I have you on the line, what do you think? What do you see?
I think that, with the moon in Aquarius, was there something that happened in January that caused you to be more overly anxious about your children?
Actually, it was more March.
March. Okay. Could you elucidate a little bit about what it is particularly that you feel is an issue for them?
Well, I guess like all parents, I'm concerned about the education and that sort of thing. But I just find that the cost of putting kids through college, like for example, my son, such a tremendous amount goes into it. I keep thinking that I'm going to have to work 2 jobs the rest of my life and do all the things that I think most parents have to do. But I'm thinking, I have a 12-year-old who's yet to go into college, and I'm thinking, God, is this, spiral of cost ever going to end? And am I going to be able to keep up with it? Is what I'm concerned about.
Well, with the sun in Virgo, you are someone that tends to worry about this a bit.
Oh, yes.
And sun, you have, let's see, you have the sun in Virgo and you have the moon in Aquarius. You're very good at coming up with unusual ways to make money.
That's true. I got to give you that.
You'll be, and you have to have a little more faith in that. You have to trust it. Mercury in Libra, you're a very good communicator. I think once you have a client or somebody that you're working for or whatever, you're very good at hanging on to the position. I don't think that jobs leave you easily. In other words, you work well with people. Mars in Cancer, sometimes the way in which you work, you are a little bit too your feelings get too involved in it. You have to try to create a little more distance. Certainly throughout this year, there is a harmonious aspect to the sun and to the planet Saturn. You should be setting things up right now where you can structure your life over the next 11, 12 years whereby money should be working for you on a regular basis. I think that you just tend to put the horse before the cart a little bit. I really don't see any big problem for you financially. I mean, it's not like you're somebody that I think you can handle things pretty well. And I think that because of that, your children will observe you being that kind of person, and they too will be able to. So if at a particular moment in time you don't have enough money, I think that either your son or your daughter would go and get a part-time job to make sure that they can continue with their studies, because you are setting the example of being consistent, and that is the most important thing that you can do for them.
Too bad you can't see me smiling right now. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that.
All right.
Wait, Robert, wait till you have not only one in college, but when you have one who's going for her PhD, one who will be in law school, and one just starting college. Then, does the word scholarship sound familiar?
Yes.
That's true. Okay, Robert, thanks for calling. Robert calling for a very interesting phone call there. Danielle is on the phone calling from Somers, watching on cable channel 12, July 17th, 1975. Good morning, Danielle. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning. I had a question. I'm starting a new job today, and I'm wondering how well that's going to go. And also, I've been good friends with a guy, and I'm wondering if that's going to get more serious.
Okay, July 17th, 1975.
Yeah.
Okay, Sun in Cancer, the Moon in Scorpio, Mercury in Cancer. I think that your relationships have been in the last few years probably more difficult than you would like them to be.
Yep.
And I think you are rebuilding now. You understand better the nature of relationships and how they're supposed to work. So I think that you have to trust that. You have to trust your ability to be someone that works well. You have a trine between the sun and the moon, which is very harmonious. Your understanding of human nature is being water signs. Both Cancer and Scorpio are water signs. It's about feelings. You have good instincts and feelings about people, and you probably haven't felt for some time that they were really working out for you. The point is that your feelings were always right. It's just perhaps the way that you acted upon them wasn't right for a while. But now it's definitely it's a good time. So in terms of your relationships, I think that if you want this relationship to go on to the next level, have you been good friends for a while? Is that the idea?
Yeah, almost a year now. So.
Yeah. And you'd like it to go to the next place?
Yeah, basically.
Right. Well, I think if you want it to, it will. You have to just kind of put the feeling out there. Have you done that? Have you let the guy know?
Yeah, I have. So
Okay.
I'm just waiting for him to act now.
Yeah. Well, trust it.
Okay.
Okay? He will.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you for calling. Let's go to line 5. Diane is there watching on cable channel 12 in Shenorock. Her date of birth is December 5th, 1963, 12/5/63. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
I have a question about my black moon.
About?
Well, it's in the 6th house in Scorpio, and I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about it.
Could I also ask you before Mary Michele answers to lower your either radio or TV, please, because I'm getting a little feedback there. Thank you.
Lowered.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were born December 5th, 1963.
Right.
I don't see the moon in Scorpio here. I see it in Leo.
No, black moon.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. I think they call it Lilith. Dark luminaries.
Oh, okay. Lilith. Okay, that's, yeah, okay, one of the asteroids. Is it there by itself?
Actually, my son is there, too.
The sun is in Sagittarius.
Mm-hmm.
And you're...
The sun is in Sagittarius, but the moon is in Scorpio, but they're both in the 6th house.
Okay. All right. So you have a packed 6th house is what you're saying. What is your question about it?
I just would like to know a little bit more about the black moon. I can't seem to find too much information on it.
I think what, Demetra George has written books on asteroid astrology. Do you know who she is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's kind of the known expert on that particular area. But I find that it's very helpful to go back to the basic mythology books like Bullfinch's mythology.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to the library and look up books in general on mythology and look up Lilith.
All right.
Lilith also figures in the Bible, I believe. Okay. She was a figure that was brought forward as being the first wife of Adam, I think. So there's a connection in the Bible to Lilith, if you want to look that up.
All right.
And I think it will help you to understand better. The idea of going back to these myths will help you to understand. And in the 6th house, you're offering the service to yourself and to others to find that out. So if you do find something out, would you call me back and let me know?
Sure thing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for calling. We are about 7 minutes before the hour here at WVIP. Continuing with our phone calls now at 241-1310. Judy is on the phone. Date of birth is October 2nd, 1967. 10-2-67. Judy's watching on cable channel 12. Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Good morning, Judy. Are you there?
Mary, I was born October 2nd, 1967 at 1:53 a.m. on a Monday. And I wanted to ask you, I've been recently unemployed, and I'm having a marriage coming up in October, and I just wanted to know what you thought about the two things.
Is it you getting married?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
In October?
October.
October is a good month. You picked a good time. When in October?
October 5th.
Let me just have a quick look. October 5th. Okay. The moon is in Leo that day, and you were born on the 2nd with the moon in Virgo. Okay.
My intended's birthday is June 12th, 1964.
Okay, well, let me just look at you for a minute here, okay? You have the sun in Libra, the moon in Virgo, Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Leo. Okay, so you have a Venus-Jupiter conjunction. The moon will be in Leo that day. This is a nice configuration. Let me see. You're asking me about the relationship. Are you asking me about the relationship?
Correct.
With the sun in Libra, you're going to be questioning things. You're having a Saturn return this year. This is a tough time. You're making a big shift here. You're becoming an adult. You're becoming your own person. You're having to take on responsibilities that you've never done before. Now, Libra's a cardinal sign, so you like to be in charge. You're good at being in charge, and you probably have taken on responsibilities in the past. What kind of work do you do?
Sales.
But are you high in the department? Are you?
Well, I used to be a manager.
Yeah. Okay. So you're very good at that kind of thing, but you're questioning it right now.
Correct.
The ability to be the person in charge or in a responsible position. Certainly with the sun in Gemini, this is a very harmonious angle. It might not. Have you known the guy for a while?
About 5 years.
Yeah. I think that initially it might be a little difficult because you're going to be trying to work out exactly where you fit into the overall scheme of things in the nature of building this relationship together. It's going to be tough for you to put the structure in place. Like, you might have to go where his job is instead of where your job is, or his choices instead of yours, and you're going to be struggling with that for a while.
Mm-hmm. It's like that now.
You are.
Right.
Well, it's going to continue for a while, but I think you ought to keep going with the relationship.
Okay.
I think that these are the kind of little blips that happen in life, and I tend to try to remember what Scarlett said. Tomorrow will be another day.
Right.
And you have to get over it. But you'll be tested. You will. But it's a good time. You picked a very good time to get married. What time of day?
I think it's 12:30, noontime.
Noontime. If you could get married a little earlier, it would be better.
A little earlier, okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
You've just been very nice to some printer who now has to go do the whole thing over again. We've got about a minute left, Mary Michele. I wonder if you could just take a look next week. Anything in particular we should all be concerned about or look forward to?
Well, I always like to look forward to the new moon, and the new moon happens on Saturday. It's in the sign of Gemini, and the new moon to me is always about new beginnings. So in the sign of Gemini, it's about doing little journeys. If you want to travel, if you want to set things up over the next couple of weeks, it's a good time to try to plan that kind of thing. It's also about getting a lot of information, kind of acquiring little bits of information, reading the newspaper, listening to the radio, trying to come together, synthesize an idea that will then culminate at the full moon, which will be on the 31st. So, it's about information and little journeys. So if you want to travel for the next 2 weeks, I think it's a good time.
Travel to the library.
Travel to the library.
Travel to your travel agent.
Right.
Mary Michele, we'll see you next Monday.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, have a great one. Mary Michele taking your calls at WVIP. We'll be back tomorrow with Meet the VIPs. Traffic, Lyme disease, and ehrlichiosis season has arrived. The ticks are out. The Infectious Disease Division at Westchester County Medical Center is conducting a study of whether infection can be prevented after a tick bite. Study is performed in conjunction with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, if you have removed an attached tick within the last 3 days and for some reason kept the tick, you may be eligible to participate. If you think you qualify, give the center the call at 285-1783 or visit the Lyme Disease Diagnostic Center at the County Medical Center. They're open Tuesday through Thursday evenings, 4:30 to 6:30. No appointment is necessary. Again, if you have removed a tick within the last 3 days and retained the ENS Copy and Dan, the Copy Man. And welcome to a Monday morning at 9:07. Mike Sarnoff here. Mary Michele is also here, the more important of the twosome here, I can guarantee you.
That's not true, Mike.
Oh, well, you see, if I go like that, you can't talk, so it's okay. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Did you have a nice week?
I did. Did you?
I had a very nice week also. My daughter finally graduated from high school.
Wow.
After 19 years.
That's exciting.
Sure was. Anyway, Mary Michele's taking your calls on astrology at 241-1310. Catherine has been very patiently waiting, calling from Katona. Her date of birth is February 3rd, 1938. Catherine, you still with us?
I sure am.
Good. You're on with Mary Michele. Good morning to you, and thanks for waiting.
Thank you.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Mary.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Did you have a particular question?
I do. It has to do with personal and business finance. There's a very pressing issue that's presently with me, and I don't know how to handle it.
Okay. It's more about finances.
It's all about finance.
It's all about finances. Okay. 2-3-38. Okay. You were born with the sun and the moon in Aquarius. You have a lot of planets in Aquarius. Did this come about sort of suddenly?
Yes, it did. It came about because of a death.
Uh-huh. Was this at the beginning of the year?
October.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? I think that, in terms of you being able to resolve the issues, things will come to a climax in August. Whatever the issues are, you will feel like it's coming to that kind of a head, but I think you're going to be able to cope with it as long as you come up with a different point of view about it. You have to be able to come up with a slightly unorthodox way of dealing with things that are a little bit ahead of their time. What exactly? Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
I've been appointed the executrix of a will, and I really don't have anything to do with this business, but it's putting me in a very uncomfortable position.
Have you been trying to think of ways to get out of it?
Yes, running away.
Running away. Well, I think that there is if it's something that is probably, cannot be resolved in terms of you're feeling comfortable with it, I think that the issues of how you're going to be able to extricate yourself with grace will come to you, not within the next 3 weeks, but like right after that, like the end of July into the month of August. It will come to a head, and you'll be able to figure out an unusual way to get out of it. You'll think of an excuse.
Will I come out solvent in this?
Again, I think that it's about allowing your imagination to look at things in a different way than you normally have. Are you a legal person by nature?
No, not really.
What were the qualifications that allowed you to become executor?
The gentleman that died, I was his best friend.
Mm-hmm. But he must have trusted you in some way.
Implicitly.
Right, but that he felt that you had some understanding that other people didn't normally. And it's usually people appoint lawyers as executors, right? Or business people.
I'm sure you're correct. In this particular instance, we had been together for a long time, and he certainly didn't expect to die.
Right. No, I understand that, and I'm sure it's still very painful emotionally for you.
It's terrible.
So I'm sure that that's part of the difficulty that you're feeling, particularly if you feel that you're not the right person to be in charge of the estate. But I think that you'll come up with something that will be clearer for you during the month of August. But it has to be different. You have to find some resolution that is not your typical way of dealing with it. Have you been able to deal with lawyers in the past or different?
I'm just in the process now of getting one.
Okay. I think that's what, you have to go with a lawyer that, again, will have a slightly different slant on it than what is the norm in terms of dealing with this kind of a situation. All of these planets in Aquarius is the sign of very forward-thinking people. It's very unusual and different ideas. So whatever may seem strange to you and not that comfortable is the way in which you want to go with making your choice.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, and thank you for your time.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you for calling. Let's get to line 4. Busy morning already. Rita is calling for her husband. His date of birth is 3/11/34, March 11th, 1934. Rita, you there?
Yes, I am.
Good morning. You're on with Mary Michele.
Hello.
Hi, Rita. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. This is about my husband's business.
Okay.
He'd like to retire from it. He doesn't know when is the best time.
Okay. He has the sun in Pisces, as you know, the moon in Capricorn. No, sorry, the moon in Aquarius. Mercury in Pisces. Was there something that came up in January in terms of, him thinking about this more seriously, or a particular way that he might like to retire that came up in January?
Well, I'm not quite sure if it came up in January, but it's been on his mind for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, in January, he might have had a stronger need. It might have come up more forcefully that there was something else that he wanted to do. Is there something